There's always been an innovation economy, and JP Morgan has an entire business dedicating to help it thrive. By bringing together founders, startups, investors, and ideas, JP Morgan's Commercial Bank helps empower thousands of high-growth companies. Companies that are shaping the present and the future with tailored banking solutions and a global business network. JP Morgan helps innovators scale for today and tomorrow. Visit jpmorgan.com/startups to find out how they can help build your future. All right. Hey, everyone. This is TechCrunch Live, where we help founders build better venture-backed businesses. I'm Matt Burns. Now, do you remember the internet when ads were served to you that were from outside your region? I'm talking mid-2000s. Well, yeah, Oren Netzer, the co-founder and founding CEO of DoubleVerify, was instrumental in helping fix that problem. And he's here with an early pitch deck, and he's seen it all. I'm very excited to have him. And Blumberg Capital led their first round in 2008 and held a board seat until the company went public last year. Yodfat Harold Buchrist from Blumberg Capital is on the show too, and she's excited to talk about the long-lasting partnership between DoubleVerify and Blumberg and what founders should look for in an investor. Yodfat also tells me Oren has some news, but Oren won't tell me what that news is, so I don't know what it is. I don't have an embargo, and I don't even know how to call for the news during the show, but Oren's gonna have something new eventually here. But we have a couple announcements. One, if you can, join us on Hopin. The links are in Twitter Spaces, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live. And if you're in Hopin, you can talk to other participants and ask questions from TechCrunch staff, and there's even a networking function. I'm going to try something new this week and take questions from Hopin. So jump in there, and I'll do my best to ask those questions. And you can apply for this week's pitch feedback session as well through Hopin. Each week, we look for 3 startups to present their company for 2 minutes to the guests, and then they get 4 minutes of feedback on their pitch. You need to do that through Hopin right now. Last thing, TechCrunch Live is doing a special episode in Austin on April 6th. I won't be in Austin, but we have a lineup filled with people from Austin. It's going to be great. We're going to hear from the Zebra, which is a new unicorn, and we're going to have a panel of early stage investors that are currently actively investing in Austin area startups. We're going to tell them how you can get their money. So with that, please visit techcrunch.com and apply for the pitch off too. That pitch off is going to get the winner is going to get an exhibition space at TechCrunch Disrupt this October. So I think that's it for my announcements. And with that, let's bring on our guests. So this week we have Yodfat Harold Buchrist from Blumberg Capital and Oren Netzer, the founding CEO and co-founder of DoubleVerify. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you, Matt. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, Oren, I want to start with you because you founded this company a few years ago, so we need to set the timeline. So it was founded in what year?
It was founded back in 2007. And
when did you raise your first round?
Well, the idea was first conceived in 2007. We started building our, I can't even call it an alpha in 2007. Mm-hmm. And in 2008, when we had, this so-called alpha product, we went out and started pitching to investors. To be honest, at first we thought that we're too early for VCs and we should focus on angels. Through one of the angels that we spoke with, who turns out was an investor in Blumberg Capital, we got introduced to the Blumberg Capital team and got a term sheet from them back in 2008, in early 2008. In early 2008, I don't know if all the viewers remember this, that was the beginning of the financial crisis, where the world pretty much fell apart and became almost impossible to raise money. So we got a term sheet for a $2.5 million investment from Blumberg. It was $1.5 million from Blumberg that will lead the round, and another $1 million from a second VC. And they gave us our first, they gave us a bridge round of a few $100,000 to get started, and then helped us find that second VC to invest alongside them, which I have to say was a really, really long process because of the situation back there with the financial crisis. It took us a whole year to actually close the round. The round closed in the beginning of 2009. I think together with Blumberg Capital, we probably went to 50 other investors until we were able to find a second investor, actually a second and a third investor at the same time, which both joined the round, and the round itself ended up closing in early 2009.
Great. And then how long did you stay on for CEO?
I was CEO through the first 6 years and the first 3 fundraisings. And then back in 2012, we brought on board someone who was CEO of WebMD at the time. The company grew really fast, lots of people. And we thought we wanted someone who was more experienced at running larger companies and public companies. And then we brought on board Wayne Gattinella in 2012 as CEO.
Great. And Yadfad, let's go to you real quick. We're going to get in this pitch deck, but I need to hear from you. What do you think made this partnership last between Blumberg and DoubleVerify for so long?
I think, first of all, hi, everyone, and thank you for having me. I think Oren is a unique guy, and it's all about people. It's all about partnership between people, and for as long as there is great chemistry, we understand the market, we understand the technology, we understand the potential of what the entrepreneur is developing, then there's the magic moment when we decide that this will be a long-term marriage. And with Oren, it's exactly that. Oren mentioned that we have first invested in 2008, where everybody thought that that's the end of the world. It's worse than 1929. But it took us a year to raise the money. And this is a part of the partnership. When we believe in something, it doesn't matter if we are the first or the second, but we go along with the founders and hand in hand doing business development even before we got the shares in the company. So we take responsibility, and this is part of being partners. And after that, I think Oren and his partner proved that the relationship that we have developed through transparency and an open discussion in good times and in bad times led to 14 years of partnership. We stood by the company until the IPO. We still have shares in the company, and the company has true revenues and real product, real business, and I think it has great future.
Great. Well, Oren, let's bring up your pitch deck right now. So we'll have that on the screen, and you're going to talk us through this. Now, you told me originally that this pitch deck was 28 slides long, which is very long for today's standard, but we cut it down to 10 for our purpose today, right?
Yeah, we're just focusing on the probably most important slides.
Now, when you revisited this deck, what stuck out with you?
Well, I think the story still stands today, right? The technology has changed, but the problem in the market and the solution is still, even more relevant today than it was back then. And if I was going to build a new pitch deck today, I'd probably follow the exact same format.
Well, let's take a look. All right, so we got the first slide up, and you can just navigate right through this.
Okay, so the first slide, we talk about our mission, which is basically, if you think about the industry, the advertising industry back then, it was really, really small. It was 15 or 14 years ago. It was just getting started. Marketers were just kicking the tires on it. Websites didn't have any significant revenue from advertising at the time. What we thought was missing, there were a few elements missing, but one of the major ones that we came to solve was bringing a level of accountability to internet advertising. Through awareness and verification of the transactions and allowing corrective action of those transactions. You can move on to the next slide. We'll talk about this in a little more detail. So what we believed is for internet advertising to really grow and to really fulfill its potential, advertisers need to have more confidence in the transaction. They need to know and understand that they're actually getting what they paid for. What we showed here is some data from the industry in which 68% of the buyers said that they prefer to advertise on websites that are audited by a third party. More than half Instead, they're not spending more because are insufficient accountability metrics. And back then, it was really just websites, grading their own homework. Websites reporting by themselves on the number of users they had, reporting themselves on the number of ads they served, and that obviously was inadequate. And we realized that if this industry is going to grow, there needs to be some third-party accountability that everyone can trust. Next slide, please. So what this slide talks about is really, why are there problems happening? Why are ads not being delivered like they were supposed to be delivered? And really, the main reason is that the process of ad fulfillment is very manual and very complex, a lot of moving parts, and therefore there are a lot of opportunities for error. Next slide, please. Yeah. So here we talk about this problem only getting worse and only growing. Back then, an average campaign was running on a few dozens of sites. Fast forward to today, by the way, today an average campaign runs on tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of sites. On every site, there's tens of thousands of pages on which the ads might be running. In today's world, it's tens of millions of different pages where the ads might be running. There's a lot of different ad placements, a lot of different ad creatives, a lot of different ad units that are being used. There are a lot of different types of executions, a lot of different targeting strategies being used, a lot of different advertising techniques. So there's a lot of complexity here, which A, there's a lot of room for error, and B, it's impossible to kind of trying to manually track it and get your arms around it. So those were the problems and why they exist and how they're growing. And in this slide, we actually talk about our solution. The solution that we built is really the first real-time verification solution for online advertising. And what it does is basically we built crawlers that can crawl the web and crawl websites and identify our clients' ads on those websites. And they can identify whether they're being delivered correctly, not just geo-targeted, but there's a lot of other things that we could identify. Whether they're being served at the bottom of the page below the fold where no one will actually see them, whether they were being served together with a competitor's ad on the page, or whether they were being served next to content that was inappropriate. So all these types of what we call incidents that the technology can identify, and then would actually take screenshots to document this. And then we would be able to generate reports for the advertisers so they can see in real time and also post-mortem what went wrong. And this way they can either correct it in real time or come back to the website later and ask for a credit or a make-good.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Let's just pause for a second before you get into examples. You just presented the problem and the solution. I want to ask Yodfat there, what do you look for out of an entrepreneur when they're presenting a problem and solution?
I think first of all, to understand if it's a real problem that has a real big market. And then to understand that they have a super unique solution. But even more than that, it's how they present it, how creative they are, how they actually relate to one another when they present. Usually we ask the team to come as a team and not just one member that is doing all the talking, because eventually, and Oren can verify that, I assume, it's a team effort. It's never one founder or one person. So I always take a look very closely, a very close look on how they relate to one another during their presentation. If they resonate with the problem and if they really agree on the solution. These are the first two elements that we are looking for when we hear the pitch for the first time.
Yeah, great. And Oren, what would you change about this pitch right now from back then?
Well, I'll make the graphics more updated.
Yeah, there's a lot of text on screen right now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's too much text and not enough graphics for sure. I think the story resonates. I think it's still, problem and solution is a really good template to follow. Mm-hmm. But less text, more examples, more I would say industry evidence, of course. Today things look a little bit different. The same problems, but just on a different scale.
Of course. And why did you found this company?
Well, it's a really interesting story. So I was working in the internet advertising industry back then. I was working for an ad serving company based in Israel. And so I knew how the advertising industry works. I knew how the technology behind it works. And one day I was sitting in my office in Israel, and I was reading a leading, top 10 publisher website in the US. And I saw an ad for Target, the retailer. And there's no Target outside of the US. So I'm sitting here in Israel seeing an ad for, an in-store promotion at Target. And I know that there's no way for me to buy. And in fact, it's really easy for the website to control the delivery and limit the delivery to visitors from the US only, but it wasn't happening in this case. And I looked up ComScore data, and ComScore said that 40% of the traffic to that website was international traffic. So I was sitting there scratching my head thinking there's 40% waste happening here, which the advertiser really has no way of knowing about. And this is probably just the tip of the iceberg, because the geo-targeting issue is just one issue. There's a lot of other issues, and they could be controlled and they could be managed if they would know about them. And that's when I realized that there needs to be a third party that can audit and verify this on behalf of the advertiser. That was my Eureka moment, really.
Who else was doing this at that time?
Well, no one really. We were the first ones to do this.
Yeah, and Yadfad, when we talked before, you said something interesting. I'm going to read it here about diligence. Explore your competitors before you spend your first dollar. I was hoping you could explain that.
Sure. I think in today's market, when we see so many startups, it's not like 14 years ago. Competition is a very important part of the equation. When we decide to actually invest in a company, we expect the founders that comes to our offices or meet us on Zoom in the last 2 years is to know their market, not just to understand the problem and the solution, but also to know who else is playing in their playground, how busy it is, how crowded it is, and if their solution is a Me Too solution or is it super unique, and how hard it will be to develop it. So go and learn what others are doing before we spend our first dollar or they spend their time. Which is as important. We all see and hear in Oren's presentation, we don't see this square divided to 4, and all the startups are always in the right corner, the upper corner. We expect them to be more creative on their competitive analysis landscape. So this is super important. And the second thing that we spoke about is go and learn your customer base,
Yes.
your POC. Take a design partner, and Oren is an expert in that. I'm sure he can elaborate on that. Go and see what the market is actually thinking about the problem and the solution that you're offering. And only then, after playing a little bit with the solution at potential customer premises on a beta or not, only then if you have something which is relevant to what the market is looking for, and then we will put a lot of money on it. But before you're doing this small research, that doesn't take that much time. And with the relationship and the network that one entrepreneur has or a potential VC has, I'm sure this could be easily handled.
Yeah, absolutely. And Oren, do you have any thoughts on this? I would like to see the examples you have in the pitch deck as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to go through them, but I think just to Fat's point, an interesting story here is, when we initially built the product, the first version, we focused on a few types of what we call incidents. We focused on the situation in which an ad is delivered in the wrong geo. We focused on, we can see it here. We call this a competitive collision. This is when 2 competing advertisers show up on the page at the same time, which you'd find this in the agreements they sign with websites that usually ask to be exclusive on the page. So here we can see an example of Saturn and Saab on the page at the same time. And we focused on these kind of incidents, and one more, which is the below the fold, which is ad delivered at the bottom of the page. And what we found is, in the test with the design partner, when we went through all the screenshots, because these are actual screenshots that our system takes. When we went through all the screenshots, we found something we didn't think about, which was ads being delivered on inappropriate content, which actually we could see that in the next slide, an example of that. In this case, it's Nextel ad, which today is known as Sprint, served next to content that obviously they don't want to be next to. What we found is that, when we went through all the screenshots and sent the results back to the advertiser, we saw a few of those inappropriate content screenshots, and we included them as well, not because our system identified them, but because we manually noticed them when we reviewed the results. Mm-hmm. And the feedback from the advertiser was, wow, this is our biggest issue. And this is, you really hit the jackpot with this inappropriate content incident, which is something that we didn't even think about until we realized that the problem really exists. So I think that's to speak to the importance of the design partner and building to what the clients actually want and putting something in market as soon as possible, as early as possible, so you can get real feedback and start, kind of fine tuning it. So these are examples of these incident reports. The next one we could see is what we call the below the fold, which is ad delivered at the bottom of the page.
Okay.
And I think this was, this is in our pitch deck to kind of really illustrate and bring to life and visualize the problems that happen in internet advertising. And then on the next slide, which is really our last slide here, we could see an actual case study. So we tried to, we tried to translate all this into dollars and cents, because at the end of the day, this is what it's about. And we want to show that, this is a big problem also from a monetary perspective. So this is a real campaign that a client ran, and we verified on their behalf with a $2.5 million budget and 28 sites on it with 250 different placements on the site, which is, relatively a small campaign. The results were kind of shocking, right? There were only 6 placements that did not have any incidents. 25% of the sites were not doing proper geo-targeting. Almost 80% of the sites were serving ads at the bottom of the page. 25% ran ads together with competitor sites. And overall, we estimated the waste here at about 40% of their budget, or $1 million. So that was really a good way to illustrate the size of the problem on just one small campaign and the value that could be unlocked here, which I think was really helpful to kind of drive the story home for investors.
Yeah, this slide I think I would like to talk about a little more. Generally, we see slides that show the market size and 1 to 2 pain points, but here you list all the pain points. You don't skip anything. So you're showing the big pain and the big opportunity. And I think this is something that a lot of founders miss out on. They don't show the multiple pain points, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think market size is important. Very difficult to do, by the way, when there's no market. And when you're the first, there is no market yet. You can only guesstimate what the size of the market is going to be. But this is, I think, a really good way to illustrate it bottom up and to say, look, how many problems exist, and if you try to put them all together in one campaign, here's how big the problem is. Now multiply this by thousands of campaigns running every month, and that would give you a good sense of how much money is getting lost here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and these are not just numbers. These are, examples of interaction of Oren and his team members with the market. So, this is exactly what I was referring to earlier. Go and meet the market, bring some, references. So it will be easier for us to make a decision, and a quick decision. Today, founders want our decision after 2 minutes after they left the room. So here, Oren did quite a significant job, and it took a year to actually raise money for a company that eventually went IPO in a multi-billion dollars result. So
Well, nowadays, let's talk about the timeline nowadays. That was 2008. So it's here in 2022. What sort of turnaround time does your firm offer, and what sort of due diligence do you do?
So it really depends. It depends on the market space. It depends on whether we know the team from previous investments or not. But usually it's pretty quick. Our process includes 3 or 4 meetings before we submit a term sheet. And it's gradual. First of all, you meet with associates and one partner, and then with the deal flow team. And then we prepare the memo and bring it to the investment committee. And only then, with our CIO council members and advisors that are relevant to what the company is actually doing and solving or trying to solve, and then with some potential customers. So we are trying to assist them explore the market and explore the solution with some potential design partners before we make a decision. And this has to be in less than 1 week. So we don't sleep much, but we enjoy what we do very much. And we are working very, very fast with the entrepreneurs. By the way, it's all up to them. If they cooperate and give us all the information and have patience and actually play along with our sometimes very hard questions, then it's very fast. And it's, it's building up the relationship. I can tell you that with Oren, with what he's planning to do now, we have been, discussing a new idea for over a month until we have decided to actually invest in Oren's new adventure. Maybe you should say a few words about it, but this is the surprise that we had for you. So I spoke earlier about marriage. So this is going to be our second baby in a very, very successful marriage. And we are very excited about cooperating with Oren and his amazing teams in the second time.
All right, Oren, you take it away.
Yeah, thank you. So the partnership continues. So, like I did think about it as a baby, but you're right, this is the second baby. And we're excited to bring the second baby together. So this is backed by Blumberg Capital. And the company is called Data Heroes. And Data Heroes is in the machine learning tool space. And it's co-founded by myself together with Liran Sigalat, who was my co-founder at another company, and together with Oren Netzer, who's my brother, but also a brilliant data scientist. And actually, it's all the brainchild of Oren, who built this technology that we're excited to partner with him and continue developing. And what the technology does is it helps reduce the time it takes for data scientists to build and to maintain machine learning models. And by reducing the time it takes to maintain them, we don't need and build them, we don't mean 20 or 30%. We mean order of magnitudes faster, 10x, 100x faster to build machine learning models and to maintain them. So this is going to be a real game changer. By the way, game changer is the name that we heard every client use when we spoke to clients about this. They said this is a game changer for us. So this is going to be a real game changer for data scientists. And we're really excited to be doing this and really excited to be partnering with Blumberg Capital again. And the company's still in stealth mode, so we don't go into too many details on how we do it. But we're in the midst of development of the product. We're going into beta testing with clients next quarter. And we're looking to release a first version of the product in Q3, and we're all very excited about it.
Well, we happen to have Startup Battlefield in Q3, so let me send you a link, and we'll see if you can get you applied in that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, great. So Data Heroes, how much money did you raise for that?
Are we disclosing that yet, Yafat?
Well, it's just us. No one else is on this call.
We'll disclose soon. We'll disclose soon, not yet.
Okay, great. And
enough, but not too much. He's a very responsible founder.
Yeah, and I got to ask, this is off topic and we didn't prepare for this, but this is your fourth company?
Third, yeah.
Yeah, third. How do you manage the stress of founding these companies?
Well, I think it's fun, right? So I don't see it as stress, right? To be honest, with the third company, it was really an interesting story because I wasn't planning on doing this. I was kind of planning on retiring. because as DoubleVerify went public, I really don't need to work anymore. So my thought was to retire. And then a few months ago, Eitan, my brother, showed me what he was working on, and I got excited and interested. And I said, Eitan, I'll be an advisor to you, and I'll consult a day or two a week and help you with this. And then I found myself very quickly actually spending, 7 days a week working on it because I thought it was so great and so exciting. And that's when it was an obvious decision for me and Eitan for me to join full time. So I really don't see it as stress. For me, it's just fun and exciting.
Yeah, and it's probably fun and exciting to see DoubleVerify's stock price go up today too. That's like everything else. It's in the green.
Today, yes. Today is a very good day, but the last few days were pretty bad.
I noticed, yes. So let's get back to the topic here. And you chose Blumberg again for financing. Why do you think that they make a good partner?
Well, I mean, for us, it was an obvious decision. There's a lot of investors out there with money, but I think, what we're looking for is a lot beyond money. And a true partnership with a good investor, you get a lot more than money. So for us, I think there's a few things that are important. I'd say the first and most important thing is just like we were describing before, it's a marriage, and you want to know that you can trust your partner and your partner is always going to support you. And having that experience with Blumberg Capital, knowing that they've always supported us, they've always been there for us, and ups and downs, and we took some difficult turns in some parts of DoubleVerify, but the Blumberg team was always there. So we felt that these are definitely the right partners for us for the road. And then there are other values, which one really important one is the access to their network of other investors, their network of potential clients for us are extremely important. I think another one today is, hiring is very tough today, and they have a whole team focused on helping their portfolio companies hire. So for us, that was another really important consideration. And then, in terms of strategy, I think they have a lot of value that they can add in terms of marketing strategy and go to market, which we've been actually discussing with their team in the past few weeks, and they've been helping us kind of fine tune our thinking on how we go to market and how we approach it. And I'm sure we're going to continue this exercise and continue fine tuning it together up until the last minute. So I think there's a ton of value that you get from a good investor beyond just the money.
Right. Yalfad, I'm sure you have some thoughts on this.
Yeah, I'm blushing. First of all, Oren, thank you very much. But and we are working very hard for our entrepreneurs and for the founders that we support. And I think in a partnership, everybody needs to work. So we don't manage the company; it's their company. We are not sitting in a driver's seat; we're sitting next to the driver, and this is a big difference. Most of the decision-making processes and the hard time are with the founders, but we are there to support everything, and we listen to what they need. And the added value services that Oren just mentioned is the things that we are developing together with the founders. So we do have the HR support, we do have business development support, we do have marketing and PR support, we do have our CIO council, which is one of our magic ingredients in helping these companies, because they need to get to the market pretty soon after thinking about the problem. And it doesn't matter if it's early stage fund or later stage fund, but getting closer to the market, this is what makes a difference. We are investing in multiple continents, and US is our target market. And therefore, developing this network and the relationship, no matter where the founder sits, is one of the major elements for as a success factors for the founders in their endeavor. It's a long process. So I'm sure that with the Data Hero, if you'll open your calendar in 10 years from now, we can have a webinar on Oren's next company. But it's simply we work for them, and when we have a large portfolio like we have today, they can cooperate with other companies on our portfolio, whether with more experienced CEOs like Oren being mentored to younger CEOs, with being design partners, POC, and sometimes partners and customers between our portfolio companies. So this is another added value that we'd like to share with our portfolio companies and founders.
There are a handful of, there's a lot of firms that offer the things that you offer as well. What do you think some of the hallmarks are of those type of firms, or how should people find those firms in their areas?
Yeah, so I think from other founders, getting recommendation from their friends and maybe employees and families and being in the network is super important. Having a great experience with partners is always a good reference. So I think they should ask and listen their peers first and foremost. And then, you know, it's such an open network and ecosystem. Just ask and go and meet and listen to your gut feeling. Sometimes chemistry between people makes all the difference in an investment. It is for the long run. And the composition around the board table is one of the most important thing that the founders should take into consideration. It's not just who you bring, is how they get along when you have board meetings, when times are tough, when times are good. They need to understand one another. So it's not just you versus your partner, but it's also the partners among themselves. So we don't just compete, but we also cooperate. So the co-opetition in our market space is very, very important. And we're working very hard to develop the relationship with other funds as well. So definitely founders will get good recommendation on other firms from us when they approach us, even if we decide not to invest in them.
Yeah, that's great advice. And Oren, you're going to have the last word here. What advice do you give to entrepreneurs when they're looking for investors?
Well, I think it's really to think past the money, right? It's to think about the chemistry with the investor, because it's a marriage. It's a long-term marriage, and they're going to have to be together, you know, in tough times and good times. Hopefully, just in good times, but there will be some tough times. So you want to feel very comfortable with your partners and knowing that your partners are going to be there for you. So I think, you know, you have to think and look way past just the money.
Yeah, well, this has been fantastic, and we're way over time for this segment of TechCrunch Live, but we have more things to do. We have 3 companies that are going to come on and present their companies. Then they were just notified a few minutes ago, and they don't have a slide deck and nothing like that. They're going to have 2 minutes to present and 4 minutes of questions and answers. So Yafat, Oren, thank you so much for your insight, and you guys are going to stick around and help us do this pitch off too, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, and when Data Heroes, is it Data Hero or Data Heroes?
It's Data Heroes. The website is dataheroes.ai.
Okay, great. And you raised how much from Blumberg?
Good try.
Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna bring up the first entrepreneur. It is Dragos from Helpa. And it's going to take a few seconds to load them up here. And just as a reminder, we're doing a full-scale pitch off in Austin on April 6th. Everybody will get to use slide decks, and we'll have local judges that are writing checks, and hopefully some people will get funded that day. That is April 6th, and you have to apply. So we have Dragos here, and it looks like you're good to go, except your microphone's muted. There you are. Can you hear me? I think you're there. No, still muted. You know, this is the problem you should be solving now, not AI. It's video conferencing. Hey, there we are.
I didn't know if it's my name that I'm hearing or not.
Oh, did I say it wrong?
No, it's just the connection is pretty unstable, it seems, on Zoom. Okay. So
well, no worries.
It's all good now.
Great. You have 2 minutes to present. There should be a timer in your view somewhere, and you can start right now.
Perfect. Cool. So yeah, I'm Dragos, and I am the founder of Helpa. You can think about Helpa as the Uber for on-demand digital services. So we are connecting companies with on-demand digital service providers or knowledge workers, and we instantly match them. So let me just roll back and tell you a bit about the status quo. So remote work brought a big trend. So knowledge workers are switching from full-time employment to project-based employment. So people realized during the pandemic that they can work from anywhere for how long they want, while keeping their freedom of choice. Now, this comes with a problem. All these project-based workers, they don't have the tools needed to find, manage, and get paid for their project efficiently. On the other side, companies want a flexible and highly specialized workforce and an easy way to find high-quality workers, but they have to rely on expensive and slow staffing firms or on hard-to-navigate online marketplaces to find these workers. So this is why we built Helpa, which is a project automation platform that automates back office tasks for project-based workers. So think about time tracking, project management, invoicing, billing, and then it connects them with companies. And the focus is on freelancers, lawyers, consultants, accountants, and all these types of knowledge workers that work contract-based or project-based. And yeah, this is the high-level pitch. We are in a beta mode now. We have about 150 users, out of which 45 are paying. And we are looking to raise a seed round of about $3 million.
I like that you use every second that you had. That's fantastic. Great. Well, thank you for that.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, Oren, would you like to go first and get some feedback on the pitch?
Yeah, is the feedback supposed to focus just on the pitch or the company itself?
Whatever you want. You founded 3 companies, so you're the expert.
Yeah, so I mean, I really like the space. I think the space is now more relevant than ever. I think for sure there's a huge transition to freelance work. There's companies like Honeybook doing a lot of similar stuff. So I think it's definitely the whole back end issue, the processing, the invoicing, finding customers. I think that's a huge problem for these freelancers because they don't have extra time. They don't want to spend extra time on that. So I think it's a real problem, and I think it's a real market today. I think there's a lot of solutions out there. So what I would want to know is how is that different? How is that different from an Upwork, or how is that different from a Honeybook, which I'm sure Dragos has a really good answer to. So that would be kind of my focus. And I think traction is also something I'd love to hear more about. It sounds like there's already some traction, so that's great news.
If I give you 45 seconds, can you respond to those 2 things?
I can, yeah, for sure. Okay, so first of all, how are we different? So comparing with Fiverr and Upwork and all the other digital marketplaces, we are starting with a SaaS tool for the freelancers to manage all these processes, right? So we automate time tracking. So we have a tool that stays in the background and captures everything that they do, and basically produce a timesheet for them in real time. And then obviously task management automation, billing automation, and all this stuff. And while the freelancers are using this tool, then we vet them for quality, so we can okay, these freelancers are billing this many hours, clients are not pushing back, they are so we rate them as high quality. And then once they bring their clients in, then we kind of start the network effects thing to kind of bring both sides on the table. So high quality vetted experts, you have a highly managed marketplace, right? So it's not like Upwork where you just go in and you just, I don't know, for example, you put in an ad for an SEO, you get 50 bids, you have no idea who to choose. Do you get the cheaper one? Do you get the more expensive one? Do you get the one that's closer to you? And all these choices that at scale produce fatigue and inefficiency.
Great.
And I don't think I have time to talk about the fraction.
Let's get in one more comment. Helpa?
Yes, so it's very interesting, and I do agree with Oren that the freelancers market is really growing and booming. I would definitely add something about your partners if you have, and how does your team look like, and what would be your entry barrier, because there are many companies out there. So try to create a differentiator that is based more on technology rather than just the offering itself. So we'll see how strong it is and how hard it is to imitate what you're doing. This will give you a real benefit.
That's really good advice.
Thank you so much for the feedback. It's really good advice.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you again.
Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
All right, that was good. Okay, we're gonna have another one come up. We have Lewis from RootLo. RootLo? I swear startup names are getting harder and harder to pronounce. I thought it was bad when they dropped all the vowels, and now it's just a smashing of words. Okay.
Hi there.
Lewis from RootLo, right?
Yes, you're right. Luis from RootLo.
Luis. All right. Well, great. You take it away. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Matt. Hi, everybody. My name is Luis. I'm originally from Colombia. My company is RootLo. And what RootLo is a location-based map directory. I'm going to explain this better. Imagine that you have a Google Maps for your company, and you can see all the workforce there. When you can see and you can find the workforce on the map, you can also access to the contact information of that person that you are looking for. Since working remotely, many companies are having or spend a lot of time trying to figure out who to reach and how to reach it. We create this map-based application where with one click through, you can reduce that time and you can reduce the barriers to connect with other remote workers. Think on us like on a virtual phone book. We are a lean software, so we are cheap. We integrate as a plugin. We are not an end software. And our technology is created in the way that we can integrate with almost any user interface called CRM, communication platform. We have been doing this for 5 years. I started this company because I am a remote worker by definition, by nature. I've been doing it for more than 15 years now. I didn't create it due to COVID. All my team is the same. We are all digital nomads doing this for a long time. And we know the barriers to communicate. We understand how difficult it could be for introverts to try to reach people or try to find people. We also understand that we came for a cultural behavior in companies where the way that you find the person that you needed was by the shoulder, going to the office and say, hey, I have a question. Hey, help me here. We don't have the shoulder. We don't have the office, and this is not going to change. So we need to start using softwares that are more proactive and software that eliminate barriers for communicate. Thank you.
I really appreciate your passion. I've been doing this remotely for a long time as well, and I appreciate that. All right, Yalfad, let's start with you this time.
Yeah, so thank you very much for presenting the company. Again, same remark. Tell us who are we, okay? And who are your partners? It's super important. And the second, which market are you referring to? Any employee in any vertical, at any market segment, it's very important that you describe better your potential market and what you are looking for. It will help us to understand better the financial potential and what will be the business model. Because blue-collar employees are completely different than high-tech employees, are completely different than financial industry employees. And it's very important to understand what you are aiming for. So this is one. And always at the end of the pitch, say what you're looking for. What are you looking for? Are you looking for money? Are you looking for partnership? Are you looking for employees? Are you looking for, I don't know, a follower? Just say your ask. It always helps us to focus. We also need some help. So these are the 3 remarks that I have.
Thank you.
Oren, let's go to you.
Yeah, thank you. To add to what Yalfad said, so, first of all, to be fair, it's only 2 minutes, right? So there's only so much information you can give in 2 minutes. But, one thing that I'd like to know more about is understand the technology behind it. And what is the real barrier to entry with the technology? Are you just locating the people and then, they're connecting via different apps for chatting, or is there something bigger there? And kind of what's your vision? Are you going to be just that layer that helps them find each other, or is your vision bigger than that? Is that really a product, or is it more of a something that's more niche that integrates with other products? And I think, to echo what Itfat said, is how do you monetize this? So I think these are all questions that you probably would want to respond to. Probably hard to do in 2 minutes, but I think these are all good, important things to talk about.
Well, you have a minute 45 left, so why don't you take over?
Thank you. So we are a B2B SaaS company. The ICP that we are looking for are companies between 500 and 2,000 employees. We, after 5 years on doing a lot of researching and talking with HR representatives who are the champions of these companies, we discovered that in this size of companies where there is the more time spent, and also for the new employees that are coming as a new remote employees, is really hard for them to blend in the cultures. So we are focused our targeting there. We are focused our sales approach, basic approach, through messaging, through LinkedIn, through cold calling and cold email. We have been doing it all just the founders. We have been bootstrapping. We got paid customers. We got more pilots. All this time, what we have been doing is researching, testing, piloting. So that's in terms of the business, and in terms of the technology. That I love the question that you asked. Yes, our mission is to simplify the workspace connections, and this is just a tool that we create to arrive to that goal. When we started this, we started with the mission to create an ecosystem that supports any remote worker anywhere they are. And the first way that we believe the best way to supporting is lowering the barrier communications.
Yeah, thank you for this pitch. I appreciate it. Why don't you tell us one more time how to find you, the name of the company, and all that?
RootLo, ROOTLO. The website is rootlo.com. My name is Luis Barroso, and you can find me on Twitter or LinkedIn with that name.
Luis, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck.
Bye.
All right, great. We have one more. We have Igor from Split Lease. Igor from Split Lease. Hopefully that's about lowering lease values.
You see how in 2 minutes they can actually do a good pitch. The second one by Luis was much better than the first one.
Yeah. Two minutes can be tough, but at the same time, it's kind of like a sweet spot. Either you get it or you don't, right?
You did it very good at the same time.
Absolutely. Igor has his hand raised and the camera's off, but he's in the Zoom.
Yes, I'm unmuted now, I think.
Fantastic. I can hear you. Can't see you, but we're halfway there.
Great.
All right. So you have 2 minutes to present, Igor, and why don't you start now?
Sounds great. My name's Igor Schmertzler. I've previously founded 3 companies: a high-frequency trading company, a high-frequency options trading platform that traded millions of contracts on the CME, and an Airbnb property management company. So Split Lease is the world's easiest way to set up part-time lodging, especially when workplaces reopen this summer. Hotels and Airbnbs are an unpredictable and expensive way to complement your hybrid work schedule. What's worse, you can't leave your belongings and you never really settle into hotels. When workplaces reopen, many US citizens either have to drive very far or quit. Our marketplace matches hybrid workers with complementary schedules and finds them furnished apartments to rent. These ghost roommates split the lease, but each gets the nights they need in their own space. It's ideal for hybrid workers, students and professors, co-parents, grandparents that don't want to choose a favorite grandchild, or anyone else who needs a second home just part of the time. Even better, our renters enter medium-term leases, 6 weeks to 6 months, and avoid all sorts of hassles like short-term occupancy taxes, cleaning fees, and since recurring travelers clean for themselves and for the ghost roommates, it's fairly efficient. We thought our first customers would be consultants. As it turns out, our first customer was a separated parent looking for a stable home for he and his daughter while she grows up near her mother. We're currently looking for Python and Bubble developers and a customer development specialist, and we'll be looking to raise a seed round in April. And actually, I'm done with the pitch here.
All right, that's great. It was fantastic. How many times have you said that? Because it was smooth.
Oh, thank you. This would be the first time, Matt.
Oh, very good. All right. Well, let's start with Oren again.
Well, actually, I have a clarification question. So I'm not sure I 100% understood the use case, right? So I'd love to hear a little more about the use case.
Yeah, so imagine someone who used to live in New York City that has the opportunity to buy a house someplace else, either in Miami or Philadelphia or Boston or whatever. So what we're hearing from a lot of our customers is basically they moved away. They decided to move into the next phase of their life, have children, basically settle down with a partner in another area. And now they're being asked to go back to the workplace. And so they have to decide, how am I going to make that practical? How am I going to make it sustainable? Do I drive 2 hours every day? Or do I drive 2 hours, stay in a hotel, and then re-choose hotels and bring my stuff every week? Or can I set up some sort of part-time residence? And as far as we're aware, we're the only part-time residence provider out there.
Okay, thank you. That's very helpful. So, by the way, it's interesting, Matt, the 3 pitches today are basically focused on remote work, one way or the other.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think it was a good pitch. I like that you opened with your previous experience founding 3 companies. I think there needs to be a little more clarity on the use case, because I had to ask a follow-up question to make sure I understand that. I'd love to hear, I think, a little more about the traction. It sounds like you have some traction already. So I think hearing a little more about the traction would be very useful, because I think at the end of the day, this is not a business of technology. This is more about execution. So I think the traction here would be really important to hear about.
Well, we have 2 minutes left, so let's jump over to Yadfat real quick.
Yeah, Igor, thank you for the presentation. Definitely, I can hear that you are an experienced founder. Nevertheless, I would love to see your face. So I would, in a pitch, and I think I said it more than one time during the presentation, it's nothing personal, but it's all personal. So if we have a potential to get married someday, then I would love to get to know you in person.
You know what? I didn't even know that I couldn't show my face. I put on a special shirt for this.
You can turn your camera on. We would love to have you.
Okay, thank you.
Igor, that's fine. It's just a small remark. Second thing, I'm missing some numbers in your pitch. I understand the idea of split rent, but how does it actually work? Can you split it to 7? Can you split it to 2? What is your business model? How do you intend to actually run this business? Is it a market?
Only 2.
Is it
yes,
technology?
it's only 2.
So there are so many questions that are related to the go-to-market strategy and also to pricing and the potential, the financial potential of your business, and how, as an investor, we will make eventually a lot of money together with you. This I still don't understand, and I think some numbers should be part of your initial pitch. Other than that, it's a great idea.
Thank you, Yadfat. I'll look to add those.
Well, you have 30 seconds left, and then I have a producer that's going to cut me. So can you talk about your traction real quick?
Yeah, it's under 100.
Okay, that's nice and
so
easy.
Very small, still in validation and testing.
But it's something, right? So don't shy away from the 100, right? It's
absolutely. So we get 20 unique visitors a day.
Okay, great. And if you can show growth from there, that's important too, even if it's 25 users next.
We'll try not to let you down, Matt.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. And thanks to our guests. And I think this was a fantastic episode. We went the full hour, which is the first time in a long time. So thank you to everyone that participated. And we hope to see you next time. And please register for the Austin TechCrunch Live on April 6th. Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you for having us.